Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello students. So we are going to start with comparing quantities. In your junior classes, you might have done ratios and proportions and percentages also. So first of all, we'll recall ratios and percentages, right? Let's talk about ratios first through one example. Suppose you have one basket, okay? One basket you have. In that you have two kinds of fruit. One is oranges you have, another apples you have. Okay, suppose the number of oranges is 5 and number of apples is 20. So what is the total number of fruits? We have 25 fruits in that. Now if I have to compare these quantities, number of oranges and number of apples, we say that the oranges, how do we compare? I can say number of oranges is 15 less than number of apples, or I say number of apples is 15 more than number of oranges. This is, we are comparing by addition or by the difference that they have in the number, right? When we start comparing by division, that process is called as ratios. Comparison by division is ratio. So what do we call a ratio? Comparison, okay, by division. Okay, so now see one thing, that if I have to find the ratio of oranges to apples, what are the number of oranges? 5. Whatever is first, we have to write that first. Order is really important in ratios. So first, because orange is written, we will write orange, and then apples is written, we write number of apples, that is 20. What is the symbol for ratio? It is these two dots like this, okay, and this is read as 5 is to 20. The ratio is 5 is to 20. We always convert the ratio in simplest form. So this can also be written as a fraction 5 upon 20. We can cancel it and we get 1 upon 4. So 1 is to 4 is the ratio of number of oranges to number of apples. Or we can say number of oranges is 1/4 of number of apples. In other ways, suppose we calculate the ratio of apples to oranges, it comes out as 4 upon 1 after cancelling, right? So we say number of apples is 4 times more than the number of oranges. So this is what ratio and comparison by ratio, right? Now suppose we have to calculate what percentage of the fruits are oranges and what percentage of fruits are apples. How do we do that? Let's go to percentage now. Just to see, we have 4 upon 1 and 1 upon 4, clear, as the fraction that the ratio we have converted in. So now we will learn how to convert that into percentage. So we got the number of oranges to number of apples, that means oranges is to apples ratio as 5 is to 20, that is 1 is to 4, right, in the simplest form. Now how many total fruits do we have? 25. Out of 25 fruits, how many are oranges? There are 5. Now to convert this thing, 5 upon 25 into into percentages, what we do, this is a ratio, 5 upon 25, right, that is 1 is to 5. So we have written the number of oranges to total number of fruits. Now to make it 100, we need to multiply 25 with 4. If we do that in denominator, we have to do this in numerator also. We get 20 upon 100, and that is 20%, right? And this is for oranges, right? So we say that there are 20% oranges out of 25 fruits, right? Out of the total fruits, there are 20% of the fruits which are oranges, right? If 20% of the fruits are oranges, the rest 80% are apples. Clear? One thing to find it. Another way is to use the unitary method. We know out of 25 fruits, number of oranges is 5. Out of one fruit, it will be 5 upon 25, and out of 100 fruits, it will be 5 upon 25 into 100, right? So when we cancel it, we get 20. So 20% of the fruits are oranges. That means we have calculated percentage of oranges and percentage of apples. Apple percentage would be 80%. Clear? So this is how we compare the things or the quantities by ratios and percentages. Clear? Now we are going to do one example that will give us more clear idea about the concept of ratios and percentages. Let's move ahead with that example now. If you see here, it is written, a picnic is being planned in a school for class 7th. Girls are how much? Girls are 60% of the total number of students, and total number of students are not given but are 18 in number. That means number of girls is given to us, that is 18. So we will write the given things. Number of girls, how much it is given? It is given as 18, and it is equal to what? 60% of the total number of students. So we'll assume, let total number of students be X. Okay, so we have assumed total number of students as X and number of girls is 18%. Now we know that 60% of the total number of students. So we'll calculate 60% of what is the total number of students? X. Okay, so girls are 60% of total number of students. Total number of students is X and number of girls is 18. So according to question, we can equate these two. So you may write according to question, 60% of X, this is the number of girls, and number of girls in numerical form is given as 18. So using this percentage 60%, we can actually calculate X, that is the total number of students. So let us first find the total number of students. So see, 60 upon 100, when you remove the percentage sign, you will write 100. Of means multiplication, X equals 18. Clear? Now you will write X equal to 18 into 100 divided by 60. You know, when you transpose one fraction term to another side, it gets reciprocal. So we have taken the reciprocal of it, cancelling the zeros and cancelling 6 ones are 6 threes are. So we get 3 into 10, that is 30. So how many total students do we have in class 7th? We have 30 students in class 7th. Now the next information that they have given us is, let us read it out. The picnic site is 55 kilometers from the school. So how much away is it? 55 kilometers from the school. And the transport company is charging at the rate of rupees 12 per kilometer. That means for 1 kilometer we have to give rupees 12. Clear? We have to calculate the total cost of refreshment. Okay, total cost of refreshment is also given, that is 4,280. Clear? So we have been given the total cost of refreshment, total cost of the transport company that they are charging, that money we can calculate because we know per kilometer charge, that is rupees 12. Let us see what is the question asking. The question says, can you tell ratio of number of girls to the number of boys in the class? If we have calculated total number of students as 30 and we know number of girls is 18, so rest 40% of the students are boys. So 30 minus 18, you can calculate number of boys equal to 30 minus 18, that gives us 12. So how many boys are there? 12 boys are there. How many girls? 18. So number of girls we have to write first and then number of boys. The order is really important in ratio. So number of girls is 18 is to 12. So can we convert it into simplest form? Yes, we can convert it. 6 2s are 12. 6 3s are 18. We get 3 upon 2. That means the number of girls to the number of boys is 3 is to 2. This is the ratio. Clear? Always you have to express it in simplest form. Don't just write 18:12. Just write 3:2. The second question is the cost per head. We have to calculate cost per head if the two teachers are also going with the class. If two teachers are also going with the class, how many total students we have in the class? 30. If two teachers are also going, then how many students, how many total candidate we will have? 32. 30 students plus 2 teachers. So they are asking cost per head. First of all, we will calculate the transportation cost, the total transportation charges, and then we have been given the refreshment total cost, so we will add them, and then we are going to divide that by 32, so that we get the cost of per head, 1 person. Okay, let us do it. What is given? Cost 55 kilometer. So the place where the picnic is being planned is 55 kilometer away. So 55 kilometer they will go and they'll come back also, right? So total 55 plus 55 kilometer. How much they have to travel? 110 kilometer. This is the distance that they will travel. For 1 kilometer we have to give rupees 12. Right? For 110 kilometer we will give 110 into 12. Right? This is the money that we have to give. I don't think there is a confusion in this. 55 kilometer you will go to the picnic place, and then you are going to come back to school. So 55 plus 55, it is 110. Now for 1 kilometer the transportation charge is rupees 12. So for 110 kilometer we will multiply 12 with 110. Let us multiply 110 with 12. 12 0 0. 12 into 1 is 12. 2 is here, 1 is the carry. 12 ones are 12 and 1 13. So we get rupees 1320. This is the transportation cost, right? Or the charges that we have to pay to the transport company. Just see in the question again, they're asking the picnic site is 55 kilometer from the school and transport company is charging at the rate of rupees 12 per kilometer. Clear? Now the total cost of refreshment is given as 4280. So we will see cost of refreshments, it is equal to 4280, right? You can see it, it is given as 4280 in the question. Yes. Now because it is 4280, so total cost for 32. How many candidates do we have? 32 students, or I can say 32 people, because in this 2 teachers are also included. So let us write total. Can we calculate this? Let us first calculate the total cost, then we will multiply it with 32. So total cost is, total cost, how much it will be? Just see, this is transportation charges rupees 1320 and rupees 4280. This is the charge for the refreshment. Let us add 4280 into it. What we get? 0. 8 and 2 is 10. Okay, 1 is the carry. 3 and 2 5 and 1 6. 4 and 1 5. We get 5600. This is the total amount spent there for the refreshments, for the transportation charges, right? Now this is the total cost for 32 people. We have to calculate for 1 per head. So cost per head will be rupees 5600 divided by 32, right? So when we solve it, we will get 175. So per head the cost is rupees 175. If on the picnic 32 people are going, that means 2 teachers along with 30 students. Clear? Now let's see what is asked in the next part of the question. In the third part of the question, they are asking if their stop is at a place 22 kilometers from the school, right? So That means when they are traveling for 55 kilometer, in between they had one stop, and the stop was 22 kilometer away from the school. What percent of total distance 55 kilometer is this? That means 22 kilometer is what percent of 55%, right? And what percentage of distance is left to be covered? So what we are going to do, we will just write it here. So just to see, the first stop is at 22 kilometers, right? So 22 kilometer, what is the total distance? 55. What is the first stop distance? 22, right? Of 100 if we calculate, correct, what do we get? 11 2s are 11 5s are 5 1s are 5 2s are 10, 0. How much is it? 40%, right? Or we can calculate 22 is x percent of 55. Clear? So we have to calculate this x now. So 22 is equal to x upon 100 of 55. Right? So when you can write it as x into 55 upon 100, and this side we have 22. Now you know x can be written as, when you transpose this to another side, it will get reciprocal. So you will get 100 upon 55. Now see, it has in the same form, 22 upon 25 into 100. You can cancel it and you'll again get 40%. Right? So 22 kilometer is 40% of 55 kilometer. Clear? So this is the question that we have given the answer, that what percent of total distance is 55. So 22 kilometer is 40% of 55 kilometer. Now what percent of the distance is left to be covered? Because they have covered 40% of the distance, how much is left? 60% is the distance that they need to travel more. Clear? So this is how we answer and write the answers for percentages, for fractions, for ratios. Clear? Let's move ahead. Here is one question. As you can see, it is showing in a primary school. Okay, the parents were asked about the number of hours spent per day in helping their children to do homework. So there were 90 parents, right? How many? 90 parents said that they help their student or their child for half hour to 1.5 hour. This is the range that they have given, half hour to 1.5 hours, right? They help their children in this time, like for this time. The distribution of parents according to the time which they said they helped in is given in the figure. 20% helped for more than 1.5 hours per day. That means, just see, 20% are the people or the parents that are helping the child for more than 1.5 hour. Okay, just 20%. 50% did not help at all, and 30% students helped for half hour to 1.5 hour. Now you observe two things in the question. Half hour to 1.5 hour, there are 30% people, and the number of people or number of parents is given as 90. So 30% of the total number of parents is equal to 90. Yes, because we know out of the total percentage or total people or total parents that were surveyed, okay, so there are how many? 90 parents. That means 30% and 90 parents, this is the same thing, right? First question that they are asking, and they are saying how many parents were surveyed, how many there are total parents that were surveyed, so that the survey was done on. So we will do what? We can write one thing definitely, that 30% of total parents we don't know, so let it be x equal to how many? 90 it is given in the question. It is said here that 30% are helping, and there it is said 90 parents, right? For the same time, that is half hour to 1.5 hour. So 30% and 90, they are both the same things. So what we will do, I'll write here, let x be the total number of parents surveyed. Okay, if these are the total number of parents surveyed, we know 30% of total parents is equal to 90. That is given in the question. So 30 upon 100 of means multiplication is equal to 90. So x will be equal to 90 into 100 divided by 30. Right? The fraction will get reciprocal here. So cancelling it, 3 ones are 3, 3 threes are 9. X is how much? 300. That means a total of 300 parents were surveyed and asked about the timing that they spend for their child in the homework help. Right? In the homework help. So this is what we have done the first part of the question. In the second part they are saying how many said that they did not help. How many are saying that they are not helping? 50% of the parents said that they did not help. Right? So in the second part, 50% of total parents we calculated as 300. So cancel it. We get 150. So there are 150 number of parents who said that they are not helping their child at all in the homework out of 300 people. Okay. The third part now. In the third part they are asking how many said that they helped for more than 1.5 hour. For more than 1.5 hour we have 20%. So in the third part of the question 20% of x, and x is how much? 300. Cancelling it, we get 60. That means there are only 60 parents out of 300 parents who are helping their child in the homework for more than 1.5 hour. Is that clear? So we have discussed all the three parts. Right, so one thing definitely would be given as we related 30% to 90 parents. That was given in the question. Right, this is how we express the answers. Right, from percentages we are able to calculate the numbers. From numbers given we are able to calculate the percentages.